Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Camera Tuesday, we're gonna talk about GoPro Hero 10. So let's dive right into it. Now, first thing we have to understand, GoPro Hero 10 is basically the same thing as GoPro 9, but with a newer processor. Let that sink in. The whole outer chassis, everything is same. It's just that processor has been changed. Now, processor that they were using earlier was GP1. Now, this puppy started its life with Hero 6. Yes, that's a very old processor, and it has been like trying to push beyond its breaking limit, and that's why Hero 9 had such a bad reputation. And in this time, they're like no longer trying to make this old processor do everything. They're like trying to start a new system. GP2 is the new baby. Now everything else is the same, including the sensor that is from Sony IMX677. Sony is surprisingly good in this sort of scenario. So the sensor is same and good. Now what is the benefit of having everything else exactly the same? All the accessories that was either bought or made for Hero 9 will work flawlessly, be it media mod, be it batteries, be it whatever have you. So that's the most amazing aspect of it. Yes, it looks exactly the same, and the only difference is that blue colors. Other than that, it is just GoPro 9 with a different motherboard with a different processor. Other than that, there is no fundamental change to this. Now, what's the benefit of changing the processor? Double everything. For example, of course, you cannot change the resolution simply because the sensor is locked, but FPS can be upgraded. So it went from like 30 FPS to 60 FPS in 5.3K, and in 4K it goes up to 124 FPS, meaning this LCD OLED can also show 4K 120 FPS. This camera can record that, and if you go down to Full HD, you can go up to 270 FPS, which is good. And it has upgraded the Hyper Smooth. Now be mindful, at this point in time everybody is like Hyper Smooth 3 was really good, even 2 was good, 3 was really better. Like 4 is like, yeah, technically you are making it better, like, but it's like very hard to tell. Like, double blind test, you will have hard time finding it, but you get the point. Like, they are polishing. I really like one function that they have added is schedule capture. Now what does that means? That simply means charge the system, GoPro, place it somewhere, and you can trigger it in such a way that it will start. Let's say you know your location, GPS location, Google what is the sunrise time there exactly. 5 minutes before that, you will start basically taking a time lapse, and then it will automatically stop. So you can do that. I really like that idea. It's like, that's really good. They have that. And USB webcam is also better. It can do Full HD at 30 FPS. I do not know why they do not go Full HD 60 FPS. Webcams can do that, and there are webcams that can even do 4K. So I don't get it. It's like the sensor is there, why they don't do that? But it's good. It's like, for many people it's good, because in 2020 everybody is doing basically work from home or everything from home. So in those sort of scenario, having a good webcam is also desirable. It does have horizon leveling that will work even higher to higher horizon, but that's what I said, like, it's just more polished variant of that. And if you need high FPS, this is something that you're gonna buy. So how's the response of this? Well, response is, it's much better than Hero 9, because Hero 9 was like either rushed into production, or like that tiny processor was like, dude, I cannot do this. So there was a scenario where if you had a SD card that was not optimum, basically no SD card is optimum, it's just like you hope it works, but like if it had an error where it's like, failed to write a bit, it will crash the system. Now that happens in every camera. Like, for example, my Canon 800D, it has issues like that, where the SD card that I'm using is too worn out, and it's like I cannot write fast enough. When that happens, it saves the video file, and then it's like it gives a clear warning: your SD card is at fault, too slow for writing video. Awesome, I know what is the fault, I can fix it. But in case of Hero 9, that was the issue, but it was never showing that. It was just frozen, and people had to pull out the battery. That gave very bad expression to people. It's like, dude, I get it. Like, if the SD card is at fault, why the heck your camera is freezing? It should tell a warning. It's like, dude, I'm having hard time writing to it. But that was not. So that created a really bad experience for people. And more than enough people have issues where it's like either failed to record, either it froze up, or like enough bad things have happened where reputation of Hero was damaged, so to say. So that created an issue where like Hero cameras went from like, it's something that's not amazing in terms of quality, but like you can count on it, to like, yeah, it does have amazing quality, but good luck. So that was a really bad hit on their reputation. But this time, because of new processor, and hopefully they're doing better quality control, they have far less bugs. At this point in time, nobody just like opened it, it's like, ta-da, it has bugs. No. So that is really good. And then in terms of color mode, that is one of the things that people were complaining about. It's like Hero GoPro have generally a look to it, like oversaturated blue skies and all that jazz. So Hero knew that, like, some people like that, some people don't like that. So earlier they had on or off. Now they have basically on, normal, exaggerated. So in those sort of things, of course they named it differently. So you have vivid, you have normal, you have natural. So benefit of that is like one of them will suit you. So that is a really good approach. It's not something mind-boggling, but it's like it really helps you to do better post processing, better, like, you know, if you want calm look, simply because video files coming from mobile phones are really good nowadays. So having that exaggerated system, people can notice it now, because even mobile phone can do really good videos. So that's very good. The processor, because of the speed, that has been done better. There is less lag, and front screen was the best improvement, simply because it went from like a really low FPS where it's like you move it, it's like it took some while to, you know, register that, to almost real time. So that is really good. That's the benefit of upgrading the processor. And touch screen is no longer like took, okay, oh, screen came, yeah, okay, menu came. So it's no longer that slow, and it's really good. So it's one of those things. Okay, do not compare it to any mobile phone, even a cheap Android. It's not that good, but it's much better than previous one, and people are feeling it. It's one of those things, oh, you feel like it's a really polished system. Now with a new processor came the risk of overheating, and some people have registered it. Now be mindful, there is one individual who did surprisingly in-depth testing of this, around 40 tests. I have provided the video down below, and that's the slide shot from there. Reality is, this puppy will only overheat in some circumstances, specifically if you are doing 5K 60 FPS. If you are at 4K 120 FPS, it's not gonna bother you too much. And if you have any airflow, even hot airflow, but air must be flowing on top of it, and I do not mean like, you know, 60 kmph, but it's like mild airflow, it will work without any issue. And most of the time you will run out of battery before you will run out of thermal headroom. So that's not an issue, but be mindful. If you are in a scenario where you are worried about that, have something that blows air around it, or like, you know, especially if you are doing actions, you don't have to worry about it. But if you're not doing action, it's like using it like, you know, in a static environment, be mindful of that, especially at higher resolution and higher FPS. Other than that, most of the time you do not have to think about it. You will have battery failure before you will have this. And even in this, I found it really odd. Like, this was designed in such a way that you can USB power it directly. If you have a laptop or a desktop that has a powerful USB output in terms of power, you can remove the battery. Awesome, it will work. In the webcam mode, it will work. But if you try to do that without battery recording, and like, you know, just SD card recording, like using it as a, like, you know, power bank, directly powering that, after 1 hour it started to give battery too cold. Like, who is doing the quality control in these things? Like, nobody thought of that. Like, somebody would try to do that. If your battery is the limiting you know, point, and especially in your winter location, you may want to do that. You may want to like remove the battery, have a huge power bank, run it for a few hours. You can, because SD cards you can buy nowadays that are very big in capacity and speed also. So I don't get it, like, why they had that random warning like battery temperature 0 degrees Celsius shutting off. I'm like, there is no battery. Like, you should have enough sensor to detect, like a dead lithium ion battery still has more than 2 volts, so you should be able to detect is there a battery or not. So that was a bit odd, but other than that, it's a really good response. However, there are some issues with this. Even long time GoPro supporters and followers and you know, customers, they are reaching a point it's getting too expensive. It's $400 to $500, and you may be like, oh, you can buy a subscription. But here's the deal: it's a hardware. It does not suit it. Like, hardware having subscription is really not a good idea. So $500 without any subscription, you may be like, okay, I can cancel it. Trust me when I say this, most people will forget it. So it's one of those things that's like, you can buy it, and they want you to sell, you know, buy it, and then you're like, oh damn. It's one of those things you will not notice it. It will be like, you know, small cut in your basically credit card every year without you noticing it. GoPro wants that, because that's a, like, you know, continuous flow of income. They always want that rather than having one chunk of income, but that's really bad for the customer. So most people are getting freaked out by the $500 price, and that, if we are really lucky in India, it would be around 40,000 rupees. Now, you have to understand one thing: GoPro was a big deal back in the days. What is back in the day? Back in the day, as in 26 September 2014, it had its highest evaluation, meaning this puppy was at $82 per share. Now, if you are noticing a downward trends, yes, you are right. Right now, they are trending at $9. From $82 in 2014 to $9 in 2021. Now, what happened? Well, reality is their products are getting way too expensive, so common people cannot buy. Like, mobile phones are coming down in price and going up in performance. This is going up in performance but not coming down in price. So fundamentally, it is creating a point where not enough people have that quote-unquote life. What does that mean? Like, they are showing you surfers. How many of you are actually a surfer? And how many of you have, like, you know, bike rides, skiing, things of that nature, where it will justify this kind of investment? Very few people have that. And that's the paradox. It's like, the people who need GoPro, they already have GoPro. That inherently means that market is limited. And normal average people, average Joe, who even if they are interested into this, they will not invest money into this because it's too high. Like it is supposed to be $200, $300, not 500. If this puppy was 10,000 or 20,000, I can guarantee you in India every Tom, Dick and Harry will buy it. But it's like 40 to 50,000 rupees. People will like, dude, I will just buy a Chinese one. Because again, how many of you, like, yeah, everybody in their youth think I'm gonna do road trips every other month, but reality is you will barely do it once in a lifetime. So in those sort of scenario, either you can take that money, spend it in hotels, having food, or even the rent a vehicle, or you can just have this camera. So reality is very few amount of people, basically the percentage of population that have quote unquote life that desires this kind of equipment, that's very less. So you may see like hundreds of YouTubers who has doing amazing things, boating, surfing and all that jazz. Not everybody does that. Very few people even have boats or surfs or things of that nature. So that's an issue. Another aspect is mobile phones are becoming very good at this point in time. You can buy Pixel, you can buy Samsung high-end phones, like you can buy things that will truly beat this puppy in terms of video quality, especially in low light. In low light it's like, lol bro, don't even come close. Yes, in bright daylights and some scenarios GoPro is better, but it's not that better. It's no longer like whoa. It's like okay, a bit better, like 4K 120 fps is really good, but it's not that much better. And the only USP that I can truly sell to any Tom, Dick and Harry is like, if you buy GoPro, you will get this, is that stabilization. That stability is really good, but again, you can buy a gimbal, you can buy a phone, you can buy a gimbal, and you will get better control. Durability, again, even cheaper mobile phones are now getting waterproofing rating, and they are durable enough. I have dropped my phone more than enough time that I know for a fact that modern phones do last. So that's the issue, and their stock health is really not good. Like if you directly type GoPro stocks, you will look is going up simply because they will show after January from 2021 to now. So there was a bit of hike, so you will, oh, it's going up now. Like go to Max, Google Max, then you'll like, oh damn. So I do not think GoPro is in a good scenario. Even the fake marketing terms that they are using, like if you get the subscription is unlimited data recording, no, it has few terabytes. After that it will block your account. So fundamentally those sort of sketchy things, people don't like that. And I really, that's the paradox of GoPro. It's like everybody, Tom, Dick and Harry, who needs GoPro, they already have GoPro. And if they had GoPro 9 and if they had bad experience, they will not invest in GoPro 10, even though like every Tom, Dick and Harry is saying would. Because again, how the heck that kind of error passed through your quality control? It's like, yeah, your SD card is the fault, say that SD card is the fault so I can fix it. But like if you move lost any one of those things, once in a lifetime moment, what's the point after that? So fundamentally, I do not expect GoPro to ever reach its previous height, and they are not even expanding their portfolio into a meaningful way. Like they should be able to make amazing webcam at low price that could beat Logitech, but they're not doing it. Heck, even their this system is limited to, like, why it's limited to basically 4K. Like it's better for you to buy a basically GoPro 8, have HDMI output, have a basically cam link that is 4K, and get 4K like that. It's like, why? So fundamentally speaking, they are not in a good health, and that price hike that they are increasing, the last year they went 400, now they are at 500. It's really not healthy. So this was my presentation on GoPro Hero 10. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.